So I find it to be very ironic that the plants I am struggling the most with are the easy beginner plants. Hey lovelies, my name is Noria and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm just going to give you guys kind of a little breakdown, a little history on some of the plants that are causing me the most amount of distress, discomfort, pain, sadness, all of it. I have a few plants that either upon arrival or like soon after, they have just gone downhill, and I am like freaking out, not knowing if it's something I'm doing, something related to shipping, the natural process of the plants. Yeah, so without further ado, let's go down the list. So if you guys remember this little clip from my last video, I was talking about the Philodendron Brazil, the one that was downstairs in my kitchen, that was pretty much low light. She's trying to survive off a low light right now, and I don't think that was the issue. The issue is that when I first bought the plants, I think I bought it from Lowe's, I noticed within even 2 weeks the soil was still very damp. Upon further inspection, it was pretty much tightly packed, holding a lot of water, basically, so the plant never dried out. And from what I read, philodendrons like to dry out, and it never got that. So I was in the process, I was losing a lot of the new, like as soon as the new leaves would come in, they would die. Some of the vines were starting to die, and I was like, okay, either I let this try to ride out, wait for this soil to dry. It's been like a month and the soil had not dried. Or I could just bite the bullet, try to save this plant without, or give it a quick death instead of a slow one. So that's what I did. So I repotted her, and she was originally in an 8-inch pot. I put her into 2 6s. So the first one's not looking too hot. She's kind of mad at me. She's very mad at me. She's actually bouncing back a little bit better. This actually looks better than it did a few hours ago, thankfully. Oh my gosh. So I do have a few leaves that I will probably have to cut off, and I've actually already taken off like 6 vines that were like straight up limp, turning yellow, can pretty much very much see through them. So I'm actually very excited to see that this is perking up, because it did not look like this even a few hours ago. I did bring it upstairs from the kitchen just so I can get more light from this window. I can take a little bit more attention to it over the next few days, and if it looks like it's good, I will put her back downstairs. So this is one half of the plant. The other half fared, I think, a little bit better, and I think even as I was repotting it, because I like legit went into that soil and took all the pieces out, separated them, then repotted them, and I think subconsciously I just put all the better pieces here because I knew it was coming into my room. So this one, I just had to cut off one strand of, or one vine, and it's been perky ever since, and she's gonna be doing, she's fine. I think there's like 1 or 2 leaves that I might have to cut off later, but so far, Philodendron Brazil, we're still going. Another plant that wasn't so much trouble, but did kind of made me have to take some steps, was my Syndaptus pictus exotica. I think this is the exotica, I think. But if you guys saw that first video, both of these were in one pot. There was roots pretty much coming out of the soil, and I know that these are slow growers, at least I think they're slow growers, and I was losing a lot of leaves. Like, a lot of the leaves were turning yellow faster than one. This was drying out, so I knew it wasn't water because I was using mainly this leaf and a few others to let me know. And then, like, if you guys can see this curled leaf, there was like 15 of those in here. I've had this plant for over a month and a half, and they still would not open, and they were dently packed, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and separate it. This one bounced back real quick. I just kind of did a crown, something in the middle. So this is the, went from a, no, this is still in the 6. So this is still in the 6, and then I just did a little terracotta one. Again, those leaves that were curled up have pretty much opened, and I'm using again, one big leaf to kind of figure out when I need to water. I might have to get rid of this leaf because she look a little limp, but other than that, this plant is now thriving. Little mishap with this is the Sigonium white butterfly. I think this is all pretty much just due to over watering, at least that's what I read, because I know I had these two were turning yellow and I was like, okay, whatever. And then I watered it, and then like literally the next day I lost like 3 more leaves. I'm like, okay, not enough, too much water, so we're pretty much gonna let this one keel over before I water it again. But I think that's all was wrong with this one, because I have my other arrowhead, and I should have noticed something was wrong when I hadn't watered this. I've had this one longer and I haven't watered it, and I've already watered this one twice, and I was like, yeah, you probably need to slow down. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see the photo I uploaded to kind of promote this video, and that plant that is in that photo is no longer with me. So that was one of the first few plants I got with it coming in the mail and everything. And from the description on the site, it said medium water, easy to care for. That's all that was on there. So I'm like, okay, yeah, let's order this. It didn't say anything about humidity or that this plant, I feel like this is a high water plant, not a medium one. And it just, yeah. So it is the zebra plant, and unfortunately I've pretty much killed it. At that point, I didn't really know about humidity, so this was originally bought for that plant, but by the time I got it, it was already, I felt like it was already too late. I was starting to get issues with the stem because it was being constantly watered. I was having a lot of gnats, and all these plants in here, now I have like maybe 1 or 2 gnats flying around. I only had 3 plants at the time, and I had so many gnats, and I now know it was from that plant. Granted, it could have just been in the soil, but it was also the fact that that soil had to stay wet. So there's that. Also, I noticed that the stem was starting to do bad, so I actually did cut both those off, tried to water propagate them, lost one like within a few days. This is all that's left of her. I'm so sad. Like, I'm kind of sad that I've pretty much killed her, but at the same time I'm like, if you don't make it, it's okay, because we weren't meant to be. But yeah, this is what I was talking about, like the crisping of the leaves, which I found out I guess was from humidity issues. So this one has actually been in water for like almost a month. She's still holding on, but I don't know how much time she's got left. She's not rooting, and I don't know. So we're gonna hold on to her as long as I can, but I'm not expecting the best. So yeah, last video she was behind me. Now she's like 10 feet away on my desk, just because I am like at a loss. I'm having these leaves turn, and then originally it was just this one. I was like, okay, whatever. I don't know what's going on. Can you tell which side gets the most sun? So I turned her around, put her further away. I'm hoping that it's just because it's too close to the light, which is interesting because I feel like there's not enough like strong light coming through this window to mess with this plant, but maybe that's it. I gave her some water today, so she's a little bit more happy with me. I'm gonna test her on my desk for a bit to see if that helps with the yellow and browning leaves. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, guys. So if you have any peace lily tips, please let me know in the comments. I really want this plant to survive, and it's making me sad that I'm turning her brown. So the problem plant that started it all, actually no, it was the zebra plant that started it all, but my second problem plant that started it all was my Dracaena Janet Craig. Now if you guys know your plants, you know that this should be a hard plant to kill, and yet within a week of having it, I lost so many leaves. In an attempt to save some of the leaves, I was like cutting back where I could, because if not, it was just going down the leaves. So I was able to kind of do that, but it was like 3 weeks of torture with this plant. So when I first got it, again, it was a male plant, so male plant I got in the mail. Some of the soil had fell out. I threw that back in, gave it a water. They said it should be fine. I was like, okay, cool, we're good. I was still getting new growth, but yes, I was starting to lose the bottom leaves, and I could not understand why. especially because it said this plant doesn't need to be watered that often. So here I am, and in everything I looked up was like, oh, you need to water your plant more, or you could be underwatering, or it could be light. Do you know how confusing that is for a beginner to hear? That it could be this or that, and this and that. That's not helpful, but it is what it is. I wasn't too concerned because I was still getting new growth and they were still growing. It's when I was still losing leaves and the new growth stopped growing. Like it got to like this leaf was still down here. There was no growth and I was continually getting brown leaves. And I just, by that point, luckily I was watching more and more plant videos, and while I did initially check the roots when I got the plant, one, I didn't know what I was looking for. Two, I didn't really look. So I went back again, looked at the roots. Tell me why. Not only were they crispy, that like I was expecting root rot. No, they were pretty much crispy, like the fried onion crispy. This was sitting in like no soil. Like there was no, like normally when you peel out a plant, there's like some soil around the roots. My mistake, when I first got the plant, I didn't look into the pot to see how much soil was left. So it's literally just the roots floating in air. The soil was probably like that much at the bottom. So anytime I watered, the roots had nothing to hold on to absorb. There was no soil to absorb the water. So that's why this one was dying. I was pretty sure by that point I had crisped out the roots and it was just gonna die, but I put in some moisture controlled soil. I gave it a good soak, and I kid you not, within like 2 days, the new growth started to come back in. I think I've lost the last few leaves. I had originally cut back these and it stopped trailing down. There's a few that I cut back that still continued brown, but by that point, once I got the water and the soil situation done, she was thriving. So she's doing good now. I am so happy, because if I had killed this plant, I would have like given up all hope, because this is like seriously a hard plant to kill. And so it was more of a beginner's mistake, not knowing like what to look for, especially with plants that come in the mail, that made this one hard, but we saved her. I'm so happy. So yeah, those are all my plants that have given me the most grief over the past month and a half since I got them. I will continue to give updates on Brazil and let you know what happens with the ZZ cut, not ZZ, the zebra plant cutting. I'm not having the best hope with that one, but we'll see. Maybe she'll surprise me. Again, if y'all have any tips on my lily, please let me know. I want her to thrive and survive and live her best life. Again, I'm going to try to do these videos every other Wednesday. Wednesday's just going to be my plant day. I'm hoping in August I can do it weekly. We'll see though. I also need to count that I'm a beginner and I don't really have that many plant ideas, so we'll see. But I do have a haul coming up. I'm still waiting on some plants from that last video. I've ordered more since then, not that many, but I've ordered more, but I'm still waiting for even the original ones to come in, so that video probably won't even be up until end of this month or early to mid-August. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna stop rambling. These are my plants. I'm gonna go take care of my babies, and I will see you lovelies in the next one. Bye.